Pakistanis.
Yes, Andrew. I just want to give a bit more of an update on some information that we've got. The Chinese PL says that 15 long-range missiles were recovered from Hoshiarpur in Punjab. The missile is intact, indicating that it failed to detonate. And yes, I just want to bring in Shruti once again. What have you thought of the international reaction to this? I mean, most people, most international countries are calling for de-escalation in this conflict. However, neither side seem to be slowing down in escalations. Obviously, accusations are flying around. What do you think of the international community's reaction to this? And how do you think this is going to move forward?
Thomas, I'd like to say that India, from the very first statement that it made, it said we were done. When we avenged the death of our Hindu civilians that were religious, that were subject to religious persecution and killing in Pahalgam, we only aimed at terrorist camps. We just did that much. And in our very first statement from there, we've said, this is it, we are done. We don't want to escalate. We don't want to go into war. But we do retain the right to retaliate to any provocation that Pakistan does towards us. So if there is aggression coming from across the border, India owes it to its citizens that it will go and hit it where it hurts. Unfortunately, for the case of Pakistan, it's like a hydra. Every time money flows in, every time you give it breathing space, it comes back up. You'll find a new head coming out, a new kind of, we are engaged with it for years, decades together. It promises one thing and does another thing. It is not a believable nation. So when the international community asks us to de-escalate, India was always on the side of peace and harmony. We are a nation that is racing towards becoming the third largest economy. We want to be there. We want to participate in the world that grows together, but not at the cost of our sovereignty, not at the cost of tolerating terrorism, and definitely not at the cost of, say, bowing to the pressures created by Pakistan from across the border. So that is where India stands today.
Yes, and I want to move over back to Dr. VN Jha next. Can I get your response, please? Critics of this conflict and some critics of India's actions in this conflict cite that there has been no evidence that Pakistan did conduct these attacks. What would you say to no evidence provided by the Indian government? What would you say to those people who are questioning this?
Almost, you can call me Group Captain VN Jha. That is the rank in the Air Force. I have served for about 39 years. Fine. Coming to the question that you have asked, fair enough. Look, Pakistan is something inimical to India all through, right from its inception, right from its birth. And Pakistan was unfortunately born on the principles of hate. Jinnah himself had said in the beginning of the concept of Pakistan that Hindu and Muslims cannot live together. That is why he had formed Pakistan for the Muslims. Now that hate has been, manifesting in various forms right from that day. We'd had infiltration by Pakistani army way back in 1948. We'd had so many of the conflicts. So, it's ridiculous to assume that Pakistan will change. It is right now considered as a inimical to Indian interest in all ways, all aspects of the living. And unfortunately, India has got a passive defense. When it is attacked, then only it responds, whether it is Pakistan or whether it is China. Even China, the year when we had a conflict at Galwan, the same year, just 2 months before that conflict, India had announced that it wants to become an economic hub, center for the world. It had announced that it wants to get into the self-reliance for majority of the things. in the parliament. And then what resulted was the Galwan attack by China. And China has not been sitting idle. They have this indulgence of two steps forward, one step back. That is the type of approach China has been adopting right since 1949, that it got the freedom from many of the powers. But problem with the China is that it is a sustained pressure onto Indian defense system, Indian interests. We have had a long series of terrorism in our center. Earlier it was Naxalites, Maoism, and we have reasons to believe that some part of financing, arms and ammunition were being given to those parties through China, as well as finances were being given from that. So India was kept busy fighting its own enemies within. And India has been like a tongue within the teeth. You have got one set of teeth on the western side, that is Pakistan, another set of teeth, that is China. China has always been, adversary to India, never a friendly. And that is being shown when India needs some sort of assistance at the international platform. China is sitting counter to it. There have been plenty of jihadi organizations in Pakistan. There are so many of the proscribed terrorists living in Pakistan, and they are walking freely. And when India wants the UN platform to proscribe them, China stands against India. It's like a wall. It's a protection force for jihadi organizations or the terror organizations in Pakistan. So that is something which is condemnable on part of China. But look, China right now is not troubling us after the sort of dialogue at the highest level. China is at least not attacking us anywhere, but its intent cannot be construed as friendly at all. India has to be proactive in its own defense. When I joined military college in 1974, from that time itself, we have been being told that, look, India is preparing itself for the two-front war always. 74 till now, we are talking of 2025. So that is the type of relationship that we have had. Within this, I slightly disagree with Andrew when he said that Kashmir had autonomy. No, Kashmir didn't have autonomy. Kashmir had a special status within India. There was no autonomy. And that special status was enshrined in a separate constitution. India was one state where there were two constitutions, one constitution for J&K, another constitution for the rest of India. And that was not understood by, it was not imagination, beyond imagination, how those days Nehru and someone gave this status. Fair enough, that was a temporary status that had to be removed, and that was removed. And as a result of that, just give me another minute. Oppressed class in Jammu Kashmir, the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, for the first time they got the status of a full-fledged citizenship. They started enjoying the fruits of development, reservation for them, the services, they will get the job somewhere. So this came for the first time, and Jammu Kashmir got fully integrated into India. And in this, what started happening is the development flourished. Today, Jammu Kashmir has got very high rate of development going on. So with those background, right now, what India seeks is peace in the region, and that peace is eluding somehow because of the radicalism emanating from the Pakistani ground. And the Islamic radical Islam has got a foothold in the region within India itself, on its eastern border in Bangladesh. Even Malaysia has got the radicalism there.
Yes.
Pakistan is the hub center of it. We are something like Israel. When Israel was being threatened in the 40s, 50s, 60s by all states surrounding it, It is something like that. We are being threatened
Yes.
by Pakistan, China, Bangladesh now is.
Group Captain, I do apologise. We've got some more information. In Jammu and Kashmir, a building badly damaged in last night's shelling by Pakistan has been demolished by local authorities. The town lies along the line of control where several homes have also suffered heavy damage. Officials say the demolition was a precautionary move to ensure public safety amid heightened tensions. We have more news. Air raid sirens installed at Public Work Department HQ, ITO in Delhi, and these will be tested at 3 p.m. today. Unfortunately, that's all we have time for. I want to thank all the guests that have joined the programme today, and we will, right here on NewsX, will be bringing you all developments in regard to the ongoing tensions and conflict in Jammu and Kashmir here between India and Pakistan. Thank you very much for joining us.